Hey there, Kindle Kids. It is Mr. King. Hi! And I'm here to do another art lesson with you. It's been a little while since I got some good uploads, and I got a whole bunch coming down because I got some good projects. But we're going to work on a metal illuminated fish here. It's illuminated in terms of just the metal kind of like faux gilding we're doing here. And then it's actually kind of an embossing in the end, because there is a relief of paper here that embosses onto the metal. So there's a whole bunch of techniques going in, but really it just makes this really cool metal, shiny, metallic fish that's mounted, kind of like you caught it and you're showing it off for your friends. And your fish can be, you know, really kind of subdued normal like this one, or it can have, you know, evil, crazy teeth. It's totally up to you what you want to do in the end. But let me show you guys how we make it. You're going to need a couple of things for this project, and for those kiddos who are working at home, you're going to have to kind of scrap and get these things together. One of them you probably have pretty easily handy, and that is a piece of aluminum foil. Okay, it's got to be bigger than whatever paper you choose to work on. So you can see mine's bigger than my paper right here that was underneath this one. And then you're also going to need styrofoam. Now, styrofoam straight board is what we're looking for. You can order styro board off of Amazon, or you can actually go even way easier, is if you've got those takeout containers and they've got the, you know, the flat top part that's nice and smooth. You just cut the square out of that, or if you've got one of those meat trays, obviously wash it off completely and then cut the square out of that, get the rim around the edges off so you got a nice flat rectangular or square surface to work with. Once you've got that, you've got the main things you need. The last one is some sort of paper. I prefer cardstock, something a little thicker for this because it really does work better, but any paper will do, but the thicker is a little better, and I'll show you why. So what we are going to do is, on this paper, we are going to draw our fishy. So to draw our fish, here's the cool thing. Any pencil lines you make, it doesn't matter. It's what you cut out in the end that matters. So don't worry if you've got extra pencil lines in here. So let me show you something. You want to make the fish, you just make yourself an oval, then you jam a triangle out of it. Like this. Okay? That's your tail, that's your body. Now you can work from there and you can modify it a little bit. So I'm going to kind of make mine a little more of an almond shape. And then here at the tail, I'm going to pinch it together a little bit more. So I'm going to have these lines come closer together and then flare back out in the end. And it gives me more of my traditional fish. I think you guys can kind of see that. I'll go over it with a marker real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. You see how I used the triangle and the oval as my guide? It made my life a lot easier. So there's the fish that I see inside of those shapes. Lets you know you can break down complex forms into basic shapes when you're drawing. All right, so we've got our basic fish down right here. We don't need to worry about fins on the side or eyeball, anything else, just the shape of the fish. Even if you have a mouth that you want to put on here, don't worry about it right now. You just want the shape of the fish. This is it. This is all you got to do. All right, now, cut. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut out our fish. Now, you don't have to marker this in. You can actually just stop when it's in pencil and then cut it out from there if you feel like you can see it. I like the marker line because it makes it a little easier guide to follow. But watch this. Oh no! Look at that horrible miscut right there. Well, guess what? I'm the only one who knows that I miscut. Everybody else thinks that's what I was supposed to do. So now that just becomes part of the character of my fish and what's going to kind of make them look pretty cool in the end. In fact, watch this. When I get done, I might go, you know what I see right there? I see a mouth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this part out. See, there's the mouth for my fish right there. That will cut out. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. This is wonderful. I love this guy. I'm going to take him and I'm going to glue him onto my foam board. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that on camera, okay? I don't want things off camera. So you're going to take your glue stick, which you need, by the way. I forgot to mention that. I'll have that in the written listings with the video for those of you working at home. Take your glue stick, glue this bad boy on right there. There's my fish. Okay, now I got to work on those details. Now check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use all this leftover scrap paper I've got, and I'm going to cut my fin out of that, like a little side fin. There's a little triangle. That looks perfect. Take that one. I can actually put the glue right on here. Watch this. Look at all the extra glue. Oh no, look at all the glue sticking out right there. It's going to ruin my work. No, it's not. Don't worry about it. Okay, trust me. I'm going to show you why that's really unimportant in a minute. And then I would cut a little circle out of here. Maybe actually 2 circles, in fact. Let's make this guy kind of a nocturnal fish, so we're going to give him big eyes to be able to see at night. So I'm going to cut this circle out of here best I can. Doesn't need to be a perfect circle. Don't get hung up on that. Big old gob of glue. Gob of glue. Gob of glue glue. You got that on there. And then we're going to cut out a slightly smaller circle to kind of give a multi-tiered effect to the eye. You'll see what that does in a second. Just trust me, kids. All right, I'm digging this guy so far. He's Steven, the fish. And so Steven's looking really good. I'm liking Steven. He's looking nice. He's got a big fin. He's got big eyes. He's got a mouth cut out right there. There's other things I could put on him if I want to, but this is fine. This is good to go, okay? So Steven now is going to get covered in glue. That's why I don't care about the glue sticking out on the side. Actually, the entire front of this plate is going to get covered in glue. I call it a plate because it's kind of like a printing plate, so this entire piece of foam and paper glued together is going to glue all over it. Maybe it's a little bit more appropriate, but we're going to refer to it as a plate. So the plate gets completely covered in glue, like so. And then we take our aluminum foil. I like to turn the glue piece over onto the foil instead of the other way around because that way I can really get it right in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna put that on right there. Watch this, take my glue stick. I'm gonna make a nice little outline of my foam piece, and that's because I'm gonna take the leftover aluminum foil and I'm gonna wrap it onto that glue so that I don't have anything that slips around or moves on me or just, does things that I don't want it to. It's nicely glued down. You could just wrap the foil on its own without gluing it, but I really think that little extra bit of glue does help with the finished product. All right, ready for this, guys? Da-da-da. Oh, there's really nothing there, right? Bummer, we did all that work for no reason. But wait, rub your finger across it. You will then see that embossing effect. We are going to dent the metal in right around that paper that we had put down. And now you should be able to pretty clearly see your creation. But we're not done yet. So don't think we're done yet. Because one other material you do need for this is Sharpies. Colored Sharpies are the way to go. If you only have black, it'll still look cool because it'll just be like a silver and black one, and that's okay. But you guys can probably see that pretty well on camera, I think, right? You can see the fish there. And if you can't, not a huge deal because you're about to. I can see the fish clearly, so I'm gonna do this next part, which is I'm going to add some color. So I love this kind of bright pink color. I'm gonna do the majority of my fish's body, just like that one was orange. I'm gonna do this guy in pink. I'm just coloring the fish itself with my Sharpie. I like using the side of the Sharpie for big areas of color like this because it goes a lot faster. That's why conical tip markers are the way that they are, so you can use the side of the cone and you can cover more space more quickly instead of just the tip of the cone. Little pro tip there for you kids. And then you're just gonna color this guy in all over. So there's the body. And then I would do the eyes too, and I'll show you why I did that cutout in the mouth. Because not only could I just make it like a nice friendly fish with the mouth cut out, I could do some other really cool things. I even forgot a cool thing that I could have done to this, which I could have dented the foam in to make like some embossings for the bubbles around my fish, or seaweed or whatever else I want to put in the background, maybe a little fish he's about to eat. Almost there. So I've got them colored. Now you notice my coloring's a little sloppy. I got some slips here. It's okay. Don't worry about that. You can either color over it, or you can outline over it, or you can just leave it. It's not really that big of a deal. I will warn you that when you put the Sharpie on the aluminum foil, for the first like 5 seconds, you can smudge it. So be careful not to drag your hand across it. But it does dry very quickly. And when it dries, it is not smudgeable at that point, which is nice. Okay, now I'm gonna go and I'll do orange around the eye, that first kind of tier around the eye, like that little outline of the eye. And then what are we gonna do for the eye itself? Well, let's do this. Let's do some dark blue and then black onto that. We'll do dark blue here on the actual eye. And around that, grab my black. I'll do some black in the center here. Okay, cool, I like that. And then let's do the orange on the fin here on the side. Remember that part that I messed up right there on the fin? Well, guess what? When I color on the orange right there, it's just kind of erase the problem I had because Sharpie kind of picks up Sharpie, which is nice in this situation. So I kind of already deleted my little mistake. And let's use, we got a bright yellow here I could use for the teeth of this guy. Gonna look kind of mean. So you're not gonna see the teeth right away. You're just gonna see a little bit of yellow, okay? And then, fun part, outlining. So now I'm gonna outline my fin. It's okay, again, if you slip here, just make it part of what you did. Nobody knows when you make mistakes, only you do. So you can kind of hide your mistakes if you're smart about it. Like, oh yeah, I meant to do that the whole time. I was testing to see if you noticed my mistake. Alright, and we're going around. Nice thick black line to really make those colors pop out. There we are. And I would definitely want to go around these teeth. Look at this guy. He's vicious. Or she. She could be easily be a she. Alright, and then let's do a couple other little fun details. Let me use a little bit of red here for these kind of cool fins. I'm just going to kind of scribble some fin up here. Do a little down here too. A little embellishment. Check this out. We'll give him the anglerfish thing going on here. He's going to have that little dongle thing out here and then put a little light on the end of it. Could definitely do a lot more with that and make it look really, really good, but I'm just kind of rushing through this to make sure you guys have not an insanely long video to watch. Outlining's important. It really does make colors pop out because it creates a lot more contrast. So I will say, definitely outline your stuff. It really pays off. And then the last thing I would tell you to do, go ahead and use your black and add some cool texture if you want to make some of that kind of fin texture here. It's nice to have. I'm going really fast for you guys in the video, but honestly, you should do this slow yourself. Look at that guy. He looks great. I think he's pretty good. And if you want to, you could do some bubbles. Whoops, didn't mean to bump the camera. You could do some bubbles outside right there. If you had originally too, you could even push in the foam with your pencil before you put the aluminum foil on. You have a bit of an embossing around the bubbles, but this is it. I mean, there's my mounted fish. He looks good. If I wanted to add some scale texture onto him, I could easily draw the scales in the black marker. But that's really it. I think this guy looks pretty awesome. Remember, on the back of your piece, flip it over in that white space of foam right here. I'm gonna write my name. And I would also write your grade level. I don't really have one, so, you know, you write like 2020 on here. But no grade level for me. But you guys should put your grade level on there because it really does help in case your work gets scrambled up into somebody else's class or you leave it behind somewhere. People know what grade you're in and what area to look for you, okay? So, and first and last name is important too. But that's it, guys. That's the project. It's a lot of fun. I use fish as a jumping off point for this because you can really modify them like crazy and they're kind of an easy shape to deal with. But if you want to do something different, you can. I did do somewhere over there another version of this where I did some flowers. I don't know where I put them. I'll take a look at that later, but I've done a whole bunch of different ways of doing this, but this is one of the ones I really like. The mounted fish is a really kind of cool thing. So anyways, hope you guys have an awesome time doing this, and I'll see you next time. Later.